Hi everyone, welcome again to the class of literary readers. In the previous video, I have talked about what is literary theory and what is literary criticism. So, in this video, I'm gonna start with the new criticism theory, the definition that what is the new criticism theory is all about, how this theory was developed, the important critics who talked about this theory, their works related to this theory, and the analysis of the new criticism theory. So let's start. Now, what is new criticism theory is all about? New criticism theory is all about the text. According to this theory, we don't need to read hundreds of pages of history or don't need any evidence about the author's private life. The new critics are not interested in reading every writer's innermost personal life, so it is only text that matters for the new critics. Their motto is if the poem is good and if the book is well written, it will say everything. So, according to them, the text must be the main focus of the literary study. Then they also talked about the close reading, the close analysis of the form, literary devices and techniques. According to new critics, close reading is like paying close attention to a painting, looking at technique, skill, perspective, color, and how representational it is, rather than learning about the painter or when it was painted. Next, I'm going to talk about the major critics who get the credit for kicking off new criticism. First, we have T.S. Eliot's Sacred Wood, published in the year 1920. It was a collection of 20 essays. Then we have Ezra Pound, Pavens and Divisions, published in the year 1918. Then we have I.A. Ratchett's Practical Criticism, a study of literary judgment, published in the year 1929. And last we have J.C. Ransom's New Criticism, published in the year 1941. Now these critics believed that it was time for a new and practical approach to analyzing literature, as well as discriminating between good and bad literary works. These new critics believed in a close analysis of form, literary devices, and technique. Their emphasis on the text was a reaction to the old style of scholarship, which was all about the history. So the new critics wanted to stay inside the poem and to explain why it was good or bad. Now we can divide the new criticism theory's critics into we can say into two teams. From the USA side, we had Jesse Ransom, Alan Tate, Robert Penn Warren, Clint Brooks, R.P. Blakemore, William K. Wimsett, and Monroe Birthley. From the UK side, we had I.A. Richards. Next, we have the important works who talked about the new criticism theory, which talked about the new criticism theory. First, we have William Emerson's his work Seven Types of Ambiguity, 1930. Now, in this work, William Emerson argues that poetry is full of ambiguity. Poems do not have any one meaning. Then we have Clint Brooks' The Well-Wrought Un, published in the year 1947. Now, this book is full of intense, close readings of the greatest hits of the English poetry, from the writers Shakespeare and John Donne to Keats and Wordsworth. Then we have William K. Wimsett and Birthley's The Intentional Fallacy, published in the year 1954. In this book, they have written that the meaning of any literary work is not tied to the intention of its author or its creator. So they argue that we cannot use the author's intention to judge a literary work because the work The work is a public utterance, not a private one, that depends for its meaning on the intent of its author. Then we had, and last we have the Clint Brooks and Robert Penn Warren's Understanding Poetry, published in the year 1938. Now, this work is like a guidebook for how to use new criticism or how to closely analyze a poem's form and language. And at last, we have the analysis of the new criticism theory. We have some old works that get attention from the new critics. First, we have William Wordsworth poem composed upon Westminster Bridge. This poem was praised by the new critic, Clint Brooks, in his work in the Well-Wrought On. Then we have On a Grecian Urn by John Keats, again praised by Clint Brooks in the Well-Wrought On. Then we have All's Well That Ends Well by William Shakespeare. This work was praised by William Emerson for its use of complex language in his work The Seven Types of Ambiguity. And last we have the poem by Robert Browning, A Serenade at the Villa. This poem was closely analyzed by the new critic Ewer Winters in his defense of reason. So that's all for today. If you have any query, you can ask your questions through the comment section below, and keep watching Literary Readers. Thank you.